So we are moving on to regions, and this will be really, really short and discussing about some of the major problems within the major regions. And so we'll start with Africa. And so majority of the poorest countries are going to be in Africa, even though it does vary by country. And so we can't generalize all of Africa. We tend to, one, think of it as its own country when in reality it's a continent and there are many, many countries within Africa. And so even within that, it'll vary. Income levels have been dropping. There's definitely a lot of issues with the public health. It tends to be kind of what we talked about in the last section about why, is that a lot of their natural resources have been taken, which is why they're one of the poorest. They have one of the poorest or the highest populated poorest countries. And so a lot of this has to do, not that they don't have resources, they have natural resources. They have cobalt, they have other things like diamonds that maybe some of you have seen, like blood diamond, and they have these resources that are worth a lot. They are just being exploited and taken, and they're not able to see these things. The other things that contribute a lot to poverty is civil wars, and that's caused a lot of turmoil and lack of stability and continuing issues of poverty, starvation, and other things like that. Asia. Again, so a lot of poor people here, but it varies by country just as well. And so we'll have countries that are doing well, like Japan and South Korea, and then we have other countries that are struggling, not doing so well, like India and Cambodia. And so the population size on this continent put pressure on their resources, and they tend to be the most populated out of all the continents, and so this is a lot of pressure for this region in the world. And then the last section we'll talk about is MENA. And interestingly, this is the Middle East and the North African region. And so here, again, we're talking about Africa being a little bit diverse, is that there are some that are in the Northern African region and that are oil-rich countries, right? So we have places like Iran and Iraq and Kuwait, and then we have other poor countries that are not doing as well, like Morocco and Yemen. And so what we have seen is the huge transition that has happened in MENA through like Arab Spring in 2010 and the rise of democracy, and a lot of shifts coming because of the movements of people. But then we also have, like right now, there's been concerns or fears about World War III coming and what's going on with the Trump administration. And so it's still a very place of contention, a lot of worry, and issues about stability and how much the U.S. has participated in this destability of these nations and governments, and how now can we help or make up, and do they even want our help? And it's a lot of other issues to kind of think about, issues in this region. Well, okay, that wraps up that one. Email me if you have any questions.